Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome to a Grace for This, the Wellness Work Wednesday. For those that do not know me, my name is Jerecia Lee. I am an award-winning, I get to say that now, CEO of Journey with J.Lee Consulting, and this is the Language Traps Stuck to Unstoppable. If you're new here, this is a series where we focus on breaking down words, phrases, and beliefs that are keeping us stuck, and we're going to replace them with language that helps move us forward. So again, I want to welcome everyone into the Language Trap series for on the Wellness Work Wednesday under Grace for This. I was trying to get Facebook connected. For some reason, it's not connected on my page, but we're going to keep it moving because we have a good topic to talk about. We are going to be talking about rejection. This month, under Grace for This or in the Grace for This community, the word has been embracing. And so I wanted us to talk about embracing rejection. And here's the thing about this particular one. Rejection is actually something that God actually has me dealing with myself. So this discussion is very personal as I'm having my own relationship with shifting how I work with, embrace with, and interact with the word rejection and the feelings of rejection. So if you guys can join me on this journey, because I'm sure I'm not by myself as we talk about rejection. So as we get into it, if you guys can please put in the comments, when I say rejection, what is that automatic feeling? What is that automatic thought that comes up for you when you hear the word rejection? And as you guys are typing in the comments what rejection means to you or the impact that it has on you, I am going to give us a quick definition because, again, you guys know it's very important that we understand and make sure that although we're using the same word, that we're actually using the same definition of the word. So just the regular definition of rejection is the act of dismissing, refusing, or casting something aside. Now, our emotional experiences with Facebook, Lord, I was reading Kanitra's thing and I seen that she said that she's going to share it to my Facebook. So now I'm about to read Facebook, say Facebook, excuse me. Oh, our emotional experience with rejection can be when we're excluded by others, or if we have an idea, a thought, and it's being denied, or even in our romantic relationships or our familiar relationships when they deny us, or there's an advance, especially in a romantic relationship, if there's an advance and someone says no, and we're not going to get into that because that's a whole nother topic, but your advances are not received, we may feel rejected. Now, for today's purposes, I actually want to focus on the emotional experiences with rejection that we may have. And more specifically, because there's a lot of builders in here, I want to talk about it as it relates to our businesses or being our businesses and how it may impact us taking that next step forward. Now, as I'm talking, it absolutely still can relate to relationships, right? Or interactions with other people. And as I will try to make the correlation between the two. But I will say that a lot of my talk today is going to be related to business because, again, I said that God is dealing with me in rejection and he's dealing with me in the sense of my business. I'm going to read out some of these comments that you guys have because they're really good about how you guys interact with rejection, hurt, dislike, redirections, feelings hurt. Yes. All good examples of what we may experience when we feel rejected or when we have a perception that we are being rejected. So I've already gave the disclosure that today's discussion actually runs deep for me. Literally, God said, "'Tis the season that I need you to work on your relationship with the word rejection and how it's actually holding you back. Because until you are able to have a new relationship with the word rejection, I cannot continue to move you forward. And so you will remain stuck." And you guys know I don't like remaining stuck. I don't want anybody to remain stuck. So now I have to do some work. So this message isn't just for you, it is also for me. So in this, I'm going to be speaking a little bit differently. I typically talk in, we or you, but today I'm actually going to be talking about me. Again, you can replace my name with your name as we're doing this discussion, because I do believe that if he's giving it to me, it's going to be helpful for somebody else, because he typically doesn't just give things for me. He typically gives them for me. I have to go through it and then I have to share it to help somebody else. So for me, I personally associate when I am putting in some type of physical work, some type of mental work into a person, a situation, a task, or creating something, for me, there is an associated cost to that thing, or there isn't a value associated with it. So because I have mentally put energy into it, or I have physically done something to it, to me, there is a cost and there is a value to whatever I am doing. But what happens is when I don't receive the response that I expect, or the outcome that I expect, and if you haven't seen the language trap on expectations, I encourage you to go back and watch that video too. So I feel rejected when my expectation in a response or an outcome is not received. Then I feel rejected. So if we're going to use real life examples, if we can use this right here, I'm doing language trap series. If I would have said in my head, oh, I want 50 people to watch the live, and then I want 20 comments after saying that they watched the replay, I have this silent expectation, because a lot of times we don't do a good job of communicating the expectation, right? I didn't go out there and advertise, hey guys, I'm doing the language traps. I'm looking for 50 people to join. I didn't do any of that. But if I set that expectation in my head, and then when I'm doing my live and I don't see 50 people or watching in the moment, I may feel rejected. I will say that's not the case for this, but I may feel rejected. Right? And then my immediate thought might be, doing this series is a waste of time. I'm not even sure why I keep showing up, because nobody's watching it. It doesn't matter. Right? So we see how I had an expectation, and because I correlate when I'm doing something physically or taking some mental capacity as a value, because I didn't get the outcome that I wanted, now I feel like it was a waste of time. When in actuality, that's not the case, right? And that's the negative self-talk. And I want to ask you guys, how many of you guys have negative self-talk around things that you're doing, whether it's in business, whether it's in relationships with others? How many of you do negative self-talk? How many of you internalize it? Because if you even heard the language, I'm a failure, it was a waste of my time, those are all internalizing things. Those are all things that, of course, that I can control. Right? So here's the thing. If we are an internalizer, because either we're internalizer, externalizer, and then I'm going to introduce another one. But if we're an internalizer, when we are interacting with the world and we have these expectations and experiences, if it's on repeat, when things does not go the way that we want them to go, we have now continued to negatively said bad things about ourselves. We have negatively said that we are unworthy. We have said that what we are doing is not important. We have done that to ourselves. We have done that. And so if we do that on repeat long enough, our self-worth will absolutely go down. our self-esteem will absolutely go down. And then on the flip side of that, when we do start having accomplishments, because maybe I feel that way, but I'm going to be consistent because I'm going to persevere. I'm going to keep showing up because I'm going to reach that 50, right? And when I reach that 50, I now dismiss it as something external, like, oh, I have imposter syndrome. Oh, they wasn't showing up for me. They felt bad for me. So we're continuing the negative self-talk about ourselves when no one has said anything. It's us. We're the issue. It's how we're talking to ourselves that's keeping us stuck, that's keeping us down. And then the other side, remember I said we got the internalizers, but then we also got the externalizers. The individuals that when something happens to them, it's not their fault. They didn't like me. They was against me. Something always go wrong. I can never get ahead because the system is against me. That's not true either. Now, I'm going to acknowledge that we absolutely may have some barriers. We may absolutely have some things that may not make it easy for us as it may be easier for some other people. But again, we have to change the talk from it's somebody else's fault or it's my fault, and the internalizing and the externalizing of things. So with both of those, the authority of what is going on in our world is in the wrong place. Who has authority over your life? Sorry, had a phone call coming in. My apologies. Who has authority over your life? God has authority over my life. So if God has authority over my life, if God does, what does that mean? How does that relate to how we interact with rejection? And how do we shift? Because my encouragement is that we shift to embracing rejection. And we shift to embracing rejection because, again, we understand who our source is. So I'm gonna give you 4 quick steps, and then I'm gonna back it up with some information. Step 1, the first shift that we gotta have, and you will hear this if you do any type of therapy, we have to have acceptance. And in this case, what I mean very specifically is that we have to accept that rejection will come. We've got to stop trying to prevent it. Well, if it's just right, then, right? We have to stop trying to avoid the discomfort that comes along with rejection. Our feelings matter. I'm not saying to ignore the feeling. Crap, that hurts. I just knew they was going to say yes. I just knew I was going to get 50 people because I put in that work. See, I put in that work. So I just knew I was going to have 50 people. 50 people was going to show up. I have to be okay with sitting in, even if I do have an expectation that my expectation might not be met. I accept it, I receive it, I acknowledge it, but I also don't let my feelings dictate my day. I don't let my feelings dictate how I move forward. I can have my moment and sit and, dang, man, I really wish I thought I was gonna have 50 people. That's really disappointing. and I actually feel rejected. But I can't go around all day moping in every conversation and saying, man, my whole day ruined. I did this live, and man, I just knew 50 people was gonna come on, and they did. They didn't. And I'm gonna skip ahead for 2 seconds to say they wasn't supposed to be here. The people that are supposed to be present is the people that are present. But we'll get back to that later. So one, we gotta accept. Two, when it comes, I'm gonna encourage us to be inquisitive. That's the action. We're gonna be inquisitive. We need to take a moment back and ask, well, was it the right time? Is 12 o'clock a good time to expect 50 people to get on? Or is it more realistic? This is people's lunchtime. They may or may not. You know, you don't even have 50 followers. So why are you expecting 50 people to see your live? And even if you do got 50 followers, 45 of them may have jobs and not able to log on to YouTube or Facebook. So is my expectation even realistic? Is this meant for even the people that are following me? If I have 50 followers, but what I'm talking about really only applies to 10, why would the other 40 show up? We also got to ask, am I a trusted source? Again, I'm talking about something specific in this. Am I a trusted source? Am I somebody that people will go to hear what I have to say? Why would they listen to me? Do they know me? Has somebody recommended me? And then if we actually go into relationships, because I see that this particular piece maybe being even more pertinent there. In our relationship, are we trying to have the conversation at the right time? Are we presenting it in a way that makes sense to our partner? Are we in relationship with someone that actually cares about what we have to say? And I know that latter one sends us in to a tendency because we're like, my partner don't care about what I say or what I think. If you're feeling dismissed, your partner does not care about what you think. And we need to reevaluate our partnership because that's not a partner. I'm going to leave that one alone. A different conversation for a different day. The third thing that I want us to do is check our mindset. What are the automatic thoughts? Do we become gangster in our head when somebody doesn't do something we don't want to do? Do we start calling them names? Do we start attacking them? Do we start attacking ourselves? You know, girl, you stupid. Why would you even think that they would do that? You're not even good enough. What is our mindset? What is those automatic thoughts? We need to check those. I just did a talk for Deborah. We got to take captive those thoughts. We got to regulate what's happening for us on the inside. It's not okay to, oh, I'm angry because someone didn't do something I want. So now I'm going to go and cuss everybody out. Or now I'm about to walk around big, mad, puffed up, and anybody touch me, I'm going to be big and bad at them. They ain't did nothing to you. And even the person that said no to you didn't do nothing to you. No is a complete sentence. It's okay. You not reaching your goals is okay. It does not mean that you're a failure. If you actively took the steps to reach a goal and you didn't reach it in your timeline, it doesn't mean that you're a failure. That's going to loop in later too. I'm going to bring it all home later. The fourth thing I want you to do is check your feelings. So we check the mindset, but remember, we also got feelings that are big. And a lot of times we allow these feelings to control what we do. Well, I'm upset, so I ain't gonna talk to you for 24 hours. Why? I can see if you said I'm upset and I need a moment to go figure out why I'm upset and what I need. That goes back to the unraveling method. Don't sit in your upsetness. Don't sit in your anger. Don't allow your emotions to negatively impact your day and your interactions with others. Check yourself. Give yourself a moment. A lot of times we say, well, I don't have time. If you walking around mad and puffed up, you have time. You absolutely have time. So as a recap, our 4 steps, and I'm sorry guys, I don't know how to maneuver both steps of putting up widgets and doing the things. I'm gonna get better. It's not where I'm at yet. I'm gonna work on that muscle. Step 1, we're gonna do acceptance. Step 2, we're gonna become inquisitive. Step 3, we're gonna check our mindset. And step 4, we're gonna check our feelings. So these are our practical tools. These are the things that we're gonna actively do to start embracing rejection and start changing our relationship and how we see and interact with the word and the feelings of rejection. Okay. All right. I said God is my source. I've seen a couple of people say God was their source. So we're going to go down this road of God is the source. God is my source. So if God is your source, let me ask you this question. When you're making decisions, when you're deciding which steps you need to take and what you need to do, how we need to interact, are we checking in with him? Are we having conversations with him to see? All of us have a purpose. Do you know what your purpose is? It took me a long time to know what my purpose was. I was already operating in my purpose, but I thought that was too easy. And so that couldn't have been my purpose. That was just the beginning, but there's a whole thing that he has laid out for me. Do you know what your purpose is? Are you connected to the source? Are you using your source? Or like the common thing now, we just using the source as an ATM. Only when I need something. If that's the only way you're using the source, you're missing a lot of what you're already entitled to. What is already yours. Conversations, relationship with God. So how many of us receive a download? I call them downloads when there's an idea that pop into our mind. Ooh, it would be great. I see that people are always, they're getting into arguments because they're using the same words, but they have different definitions. I think I should create some type of source of where we're talking about this, talking about the language barriers and how it's keeping us stuck. I get this download. Do I automatically go to my computer or go to my book and just start working it out? Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Da, 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 da. Like, am I working it? Right? Am I working the thing? Then named it, came up with a whole concept, start telling people about it. If we're doing that, you do realize you're building without the instruction manual. And I know a lot of us, if you're a builder or you get something, we don't read the instructions. We look at the picture and we go from the picture and then we put it together. But in that, how many times is something either put on backwards? You got extra screws and you're not really supposed to have extra screws. Right? We have to make sure that we're going to the source, our instructional manual, which is God, and saying, okay, God, I see that you gave me this download for this. let me ask some follow-up questions to see if I understand how you want me to do it. Okay, so you want this conversations. I've been having the conversations in therapy sessions, but you feel like it's time for it to come out of therapy sessions. Okay, but what's the how? Am I doing a workshop? Am I doing a live? Am I just doing clips? Like how? What's the how are we delivering this information? Okay, God, what are we calling it? What's the name of it? What's the premise? What's the purpose? Are we asking all of these questions or are we just taking a download and run? All right, God, when do you actually want me to launch this? Are we asking the questions? Are we having conversations to get clarity on what we need to do and when we need to do it before we're running? If you're running as soon as you get the download, I encourage you to take a pause. Write what was given to you because we absolutely need to write what was given to us. Write it down. Write what was given to you and then ask the follow-up questions because he may be giving something for you to launch 5 years from now. He may be giving you something to give to somebody else. It may not be yours. We got to take a pause and have a conversation so we can get clarity on what we actually need to be doing. If you get downloads like I get downloads, I can get 5, 6, 7, 8 ideas in a day. And if I don't take that pause, I'm so scatterbrained. I'm gonna be working on this. I'm so, oh, but wait a minute, what about this one over? So now I go pull up another tab and start working on it. And then I'm like, oh, let me go open up another tab because I just got another thing. Let me write it down. And I'm building without clarity. Take a moment, write it down, but take a moment before you start building. Just thoughts. All right, so as we come to the end, I got some scripture for you guys because I want y'all to understand what your authority is and what it means to be connected to the source, and how if you're connected to the source and how scriptures from the Bible actually supports that our relationship with rejection needs to shift. So here's the thing. I'm going to give you the Bible verses, but I'm going to read the Bible verses the way that I had to translate it. So you're about to get the J.Lee translation, JLV. We're about to get the J.Lee version of how I had to translate it to make it make sense to me and use it in life application for myself. So I'm going to encourage you to go read the verse for yourself so he can give you the understanding that makes sense for you and where you are. But I'm going to give it to you the way that he gave it to me. Does that make sense? Thank you, girl. That's to Kenitra. Random. Your skin look extra smooth and clear. Thank you. All right, so here we go. Here are my life applications that's going to keep me rooted anytime I'm facing rejection. And these scriptures actually applies a lot as a builder and just as becoming authentic to who I am, because it really resonate on you have zero reason to have low self-esteem. You have zero reason to question your self-worth based off of how he gave me these specific verses. All right, so here we go. Jeremiah 1 and 5. All right, Jeremiah 1, chapter 1, verse 5. Here's how I life application it. Here's how I received it. Jerecia, God knew who he wanted you to be before he even put you in your mother's womb. So that means, Kenitra, God knew who he wanted you to be, who he created you to be, before he even put you in your mother's womb. That's the same for Tea Time. That's the same for Yolanda. That's the same for Q. He knew who he wanted us to be before he created us and put us in our mother's womb. Flaws and all, he knew. So if God knew who I was going to be, then why am I questioning it? And I know some people weaponize that, but like, God knew who he created. God did know who he created, but he also calls us to be better. So we don't get to use that and stay stuck in ways that are not pleasing to him. Okay. Second one, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. Jerecia, God he personally created me to do good work, and the work is already prepared for me to do. So when God created me, he already knew that he was going to give me a son. And he already knew that he wanted me to steward my son very well. Now I have free will. I can abide or not abide. Yeah, because you got to get my attention. That's that you in trouble. Sit down. So anything that he gives me, and as long as I take that pause and to determine and listen to or get the clarity on how he wants me to do it, the work is going to be the work. It's already designed for me to do it. It's already designed for me to be successful. But then that also goes back to the definition of successful, because what God may see successful, it might be something different than what we see as successful. So that's why we also have to go to him. What does this look like? Who do you want me to impact? Who is this for? Because he might be like, oh, that's just for 4 people, when you thinking it's for 60. It was only for 4 people. Only 4 people needed that. All right. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 4 through 7. Jerecia, when God created you, he already installed in you all the spiritual gifts that you need to be successful at the works he has prepared you to do. I have everything that I need. But what happens is life happens to us. And so sometimes what I have and need may be covered up. And so now we got to go shed some things. So what he originally gave us can shine through the way that it's supposed to shine through, or we can use it in the way that he intended for us to use it. Or maybe there's some muscle that have to be developed around certain things. So again, I can hold it like he wants me to hold it. Because if my arms are weak and he gives me a plate full of food, I'm going to drop that plate. But if I have life experiences that have me working that arm muscle to where it's strong enough to hold the plate when it's time, but I had it. I could always hold the plate. I just needed to build the muscle around it. And sometimes we don't like having to build the muscle. Sometimes we don't like having to shed the things. Next one, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Hey, Kim. Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6. And I know this one trips up a lot of people. But again, this is how I understand it. Jerecia, you may not understand where you are going, but God has already established your path. You just need to listen and trust him. My path is established. I don't need to know where I'm going or what the end will be. I just need to ask him, all right, what's the next step? What you want me to do next? And we execute, we be obedient, we be consistent in doing the things that he has instructed us to do. Proverbs 16:9. Now this is where he got a little frustrated with me. He might not get frustrated with you when you read this one, but this is where he got frustrated with me. Proverbs 16:9. He said, girl, sit down. I already told you in the earlier Proverbs that I have your steps and path already established. Go sit down somewhere. Why am I having to repeat myself? My bad. My apologies. Yes, sir. Trust you. Got it. Understand. Will do. I'm gonna go sit down. What you want me to do? What's the next step? Okay, got it. The next one is Psalms 23. Psalms 23, and it's the whole Psalm 23. It's not even just like a verse. Psalms 23 is not long. You guys probably know that one. That's the one that we recite a lot. But here's my interpretation and how I receive it. So I can apply it. Jerecia, if you allow me to lead you, because I have to invite him in, I have to surrender, I have to submit. If you allow me to lead you, all of your needs, every single one of the needs, not wants, needs will be met. You will go through things. But I will be right there beside you, guiding you through it and encouraging you. So he didn't say I wasn't going to go through nothing. He said I was going to go through it, but he's going to be right there with me. And I know a lot of times when we start going through things and things, go unexpected or things get really hard, we start questioning him. Where are you? He's right there. But he's not going to save us from it. We got to go through it. And if we just lean on him and ask him the question is not why am I going it? How am I going to get through this? What is it that you want me to learn? What is it that I need to do? I know when I was going through my trials, I said, God, please tell me in plain, what is it that you want me to learn so I can get out of this? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this for 40 days a night. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Please tell me, what am I supposed to learn? I submit, I surrender. What do you want me to learn? I'm all ears. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to torture myself. I don't want to look around and feel like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get out of here? Longer than what I have to. What is it that you want me to learn? What is it I'm supposed to receive? What is it? Part of that is still to have no fear because you are covered. A lot of times we're going, but what am I going to do? He got you. I don't know. There's a way. It may take you doing something like me. I had to step out on faith. Left. Good government job. Started private practice. He gave me the plan. These are the things that I need you to do to get prepared because I'm not going to just have you jump out there. That's not what this is, for me anyway. That's not what this is. I wanted to leave way before he told me to leave. He laughed at me in my face and said, no, it's not time for you to go. So upset. Feelings hurt. You showed me how I'm supposed to get out. Why are we waiting? You're not prepared. You haven't set the fundamental steps. You haven't done the things, or you haven't laid the foundation that you need to lay. So when you do shift, you're good to go. Pause. Don't jump. And then the last scripture for today is Ephesians 3:3-20. Ephesians 3, chapter 3, verses 20. Jerecia, I can do things for you that you can't even imagine. So that means if I'm like, God, you know what? I feel like I need I'm trying to think of something out there that I don't want, and that's the issue. I can't think of anything because I don't want anything outlandish. But if I was like, guy, you know what? I want to have a house that's on 5 acres of land that has 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, X, Y, and Z, boom, boom, boom. I give him what I want. If that's all that I can imagine, what he really has for me is bigger than that. So even if you come up with your wildest dreams, what he can actually do for us if we are obedient and following what he tells us to do and operating in our purpose is way bigger. I may never get that house. When I say bigger, I don't mean he's going to give me 16 acres and 10-bedroom house. I don't mean that. I mean that he may be like, no, you actually need 1 acre, 3-bedroom house, 2-car garage, because you're going to have this, but I'm also going to give you a building for your business. That's yours. Right? So when he multiply for us, or when he say abundance, his abundance is not always what we think it should be. So we say what we want, but we be open to, but if it's your will, and you know what you already have planned for me. Because what he can do for us and the things that he can give us is way bigger than anything that we can imagine. So sometimes we also got to release what we think. Ephesians chapter 3, verse 20. T-Time, I don't want 5 acres. I'm not mowing that. My husband's not mowing that. I'm okay. If I have 5 acres, though, I take that back. I take back what I just said, because you know what? If God decides to give me 5 acres, there's something he want me to do with that 5 acres. So I take that back. I take it back. See? You see how he be? Mm-hmm. In real time. Y'all just seen it in real time. Convicted me real fast. Oh, you don't want 5 acres? You don't know what I got planned for that 5 acres. I'm sorry. Sometimes he talks to me like that. I don't know how he talked to y'all, but sometimes he talked to me like that. All right, guys. So thank you. So in conclusion, when we understand that God knew us from birth and he created us with a specific purpose and is ordering our steps daily, then when rejection comes, hearing no, people not buying from us, not getting traction the way that we want to get traction in our business, not finding that right relationship, or not feeling heard, or not feeling considered in relationships, then guess what? It's not part of the plan. I know all of us heard or hear that rejection is for our protection, and it really is. And if you go through those verses, you will see that if God has already ordained your path, somebody saying no was part of the path, because that's not where you were supposed to go. That's not what you needed. That wasn't the person. That's not the person if we're in relationships. Embrace the rejection. It's not part of the plan. It's not part of your path. It's not what he has in store for you. It's not a bad thing. Rejection is not bad. We have to shift our mindset around how we interact with the word rejection. And I encourage each and every one of you to hopefully take the tools that I gave you, but then also use the scriptures to anoint the tools that I have given you, and really connect and have your grounding in your source, and understand that if God is giving you something, make sure you're taking a pause to understand what he wants you to do with it and execute to his standard, not our standard. And in that, we will get everything that he has promised us. And what he has promised us, we can't even begin to imagine what that looked like. And a lot of times we go to materialistic things, but it's not always about the materialistic things. It could be about relationships that we have with each other. And I don't even mean romantic relationships. I just mean being in community, and the impact that you can have by opening your voice and speaking positivity on somebody else, or giving somebody something that you have learned because they actually need it too. It could be writing that book and not writing the books for sales, right? This is where we have to check ourselves. It's not writing the book for sales, but it's writing the book to encourage somebody else. And if you write it for the right reasons, guess what? There will be an abundance from those sales. But if we write the book for the sales, it's going to sit on a shelf. So checking our heart and making sure that we're doing all things for the right reason. And it's what he told us to do, most importantly. Did he say do X, Y, and Z? Or are we operating in our own? I want to say thank you guys for joining. Hopefully this has been helpful. If you are watching this in the replay, please hit replay or type replay in the comments. Again, I hope everyone receives something from this and it helps you shift and interact with rejection, the word rejection, and the emotions associated with rejection in a different way that moves you forward and you're no longer stuck. You guys have a wonderful Wednesday evening. Sorry, Q. You guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see you guys in the community. Have a great evening.